Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 27. Andrew Eisen here, along with Zachary Knight. Hello, Zachary.
Hello, Andrew. How are you today?
Not too bad. Been enjoying my Thanksgiving, the parts I've had off anyway. I was on call till 6 a.m. Turkey Day morning,
Yeah.
um, and then I went to the gym. Well, no, I went to sleep, and then I went to the gym, and then I just kind of putzed around the rest of the day. And then my sister got here on Friday around noon, and we've been
Okay.
hanging out since then, playing games, watching movies, and buying underwear.
Buying
So,
underwear with
so
your
much
sister.
underwear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, here in California, they don't do disposable plastic store bags.
Yeah.
So you either have
Because you
to.
guys made them illegal.
That's right. That's right. We decided that we Californians are willing to take on a little bit of inconvenience to help the environment. Um, so we're at the checkout counter at Target, and the guy's ringing up the underwear. And of course, girl underwear is sold one pair at a time. See, guy underwear, it's like a pack of 10 for $5, and it just comes in one big package, and you could just walk out with a package of underwear. Women underwear, nope, nope. Individual ones, is it one underwear, two underwear? So because we're not gonna. That's $60 of underwear right there. We're not spending an extra 10 cents on a bag. So it's just stuffing them one by one into her purse. Nope. I've got a purse. This is fine. This is fine. So, all
Yeah.
good stuff. Hello, Scotty, and hello, Hawks.
Yes. Hello.
And we've watched some gooey horror movies that we watched last night. We watched, actually, they were both French horror films, Inside and High Tension.
Interesting.
Both of which I've seen before, but my sister was just in the mood for gruesome horror films. So
Yeah.
just all right, we got this one, we got this one. I got lots of those. So I've been having a fun Thanksgiving weekend. How about you?
It's my week's been pretty good. We went to Thanksgiving dinner at my parents' house, and all of my siblings were there, and and all of their families.
Now,
So
how
it
many
was.
siblings do you have, Zachary?
I've got four brothers and two sisters, and and let's see,
And did
my
you bring all your kids?
yes, we
And
had all my
did all
kids.
your siblings have all their kids?
Yes, so let's see.
Did you
There's
rent out a
my kids have
hall somewhere?
no. We just all crammed into my parents' house. Let's see. I had six kids. And then my oldest sister, she had her four kids. My younger sister had her five kids, and then one of my little brothers had his two kids. The other one had his one kid. My oldest brother had one of his kids there. The other two are uh, the other two were off with their other parents because the whole divorce and remarry type stuff. But and then my other older brother brought his dates two kids, and then my youngest brother had
I
some
thought you were going to
friends
stop there.
over.
Your brother brought
My
his dates, as in both of them.
but my youngest brother brought some friends with him, and they had one kid. So lots of kids there, and lots of adults.
Now,
So
was there an adults table and a kids table?
well, there was. We set up tables for the kids to sit at, and then the
Mhm.
adults just kind of sat wherever they could fit because there was no adults table because there was a good dozen 12 15 14 adults there, something like that. Let's see, my parents, and then two yeah, so nearly over a dozen adults. So yeah, there was no way we were fitting everybody in anywhere. But yeah.
Okay.
Fun stuff though. We didn't get to do much other than chat, and my oldest brother has a go-kart, and he lives next door to my parents,
Oh, nice.
so we got to go out and ride the go-kart around the pasture. So that was fun.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Scotty says, Andrew, I don't want to alarm you, but there's someone behind you.
It's an axe murderer.
Um, don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I did get to watch some movies and listen to some movies this week.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what I'm looking at the movies that I rented. I got to watch The Shallows with Blake Lively.
Let's see.
And
She's stuck on a rock with a shark trying to eat her, right?
yeah, it was basically Jaws on a rock rather than Jaws on a boat. Yeah. and I don't know.
Actually, you say that, and I picture Jaws actually up on the
Oh, on the rock, yeah.
surrounded by angry swimmers or something. Stay away!
Yeah,
I
it
hear the
was.
seagull is the best part of the movie.
Oh yeah, the seagull was cute and fun. And she does save its life.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah. So, spoilers.
Spoiler.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil the movie for you guys. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of shark attack movies
Mhm.
because I'm one of those people that don't like to demonize sharks because there's no reason to demonize them. People get killed. More people get killed by cows than get killed by sharks each year. So
Where's our
um,
killer cow movie?
I know we need a killer cow
I
movie.
mean, there is Black Sheep, which is a killer sheep movie, but
Yeah.
I can't think of a killer cow movie.
No, I can't either.
Get on that,
Um,
Hollywood.
well, actually, no. I come to think of it, I think there is. Um, I don't know if it's a killer Paul Bunyan movie with his
Oh no,
Babe the Blue Ox,
yeah, I don't
or
know
if it's just Babe the Blue Ox. I don't
there
know.
is a Paul Bunyan slasher horror movie. I don't
Yeah.
know if Babe the Blue Ox is actually in it. It may just be
Okay.
some guy with an axe. Probably
Okay.
is.
But The Shallows was fun. It was a good movie. Like it wasn't. It wasn't what I was expecting going in. I was expecting something more along the lines of uh, that other Stranded in the Ocean movie. I forget what that one's called. Um,
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's just the people who are stranded in the ocean with sharks swimming around them, and I
Yeah.
forget what that one's called.
I think
But
I did a 30 days of horror or Netflix for that one.
yeah, but I was expecting something more thrillery or intense or whatever. But this one was more. Um, I wouldn't say it's not horror, but it was just more uh, evil shark action than I was expecting. I was just expecting her to have cut herself or something and be stuck on this rock with a shark swimming around her. But no, the shark actively kills people in it. So,
Mm.
and then she's and the shark apparently holds a vendetta against her or
Is it
something. And
is it open water?
yeah, Open Water. That
Yeah.
was the movie I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But apparently, this shark is intelligent enough to have a vendetta and a grudge against this woman, even just over the one day that she's been out in the water with him, and is actively trying to kill her, despite everything that she's doing to avoid being killed by him. So
He's tired of all the plastic grocery bags that have been floating around in the ocean.
I guess.
So Californians, that's why, because we want to appease our shark overlords.
Yeah. And then the other movies, and these are just more movies that I listened to because we had them
Because
going in the
kids.
car with the kids.
Mhm.
And one of them was the Angry Birds movie. I got to listen to that, and
Okay.
it was as terrible as everybody said it was.
Yeah.
My kids seemed to like it, but they didn't
Well,
laugh so much during it. Like they usually laugh during other movies, but they thought they were entertained. And my youngest kid was talking about scenes in it and stuff, but or my second youngest, not my youngest, because he doesn't talk. But yeah, it was just I don't know. I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it more if I were watching it, but
I was surprised by how good the Penguins of Madagascar movie was.
Yeah,
That was actually
that one
surprisingly
was really
entertaining.
that was it was entertaining. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that entertained my kids was the fact that one of the birds was voiced by the same guy that did Olaf the Snowman in Frozen,
Huh. Josh
and
Gad, I think.
yeah, and so he sounded exactly like Olaf, and they're like, "That's Olaf,"
Happy
and
Snowman.
yeah, and then the other movie um, was called Norm of the North or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Why
it's
do you
about a
hate yourself and your children so much, Zachary?
I know. And I watched this one and boy, it was pure global warming propaganda. Seriously, the entire thing was just a propaganda film. And I'm not saying global warming's not a thing or whatever, but this was just dripping propaganda. It's like the evil one percenters are trying to destroy the Arctic so that they can build condos up in the north, and it's like, what is this? And this polar bear is trying to save the Arctic, and I'm just like, seriously, this thing is terrible. Uh, yeah.
Was it better or worse than Fern Gully?
Fern Gully was actually better. I
Okay.
enjoyed Fern
Well,
Gully, but I haven't watched it in
it
like
had
20
Tim
years.
Curry in it,
So.
so
Oh yeah, yeah. Tim Curry
automatic.
makes everything better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some animated films about the Ten Commandments, and it's like a series of 5 films, and each film talks about 2 of the Ten Commandments, and Tim Curry's in one
Are
of
these
them.
feature-length films?
No, they're like 30-minute films.
Well, even
Yeah.
so, the Ten Commandments, each commandment is pretty succinct. It doesn't seem
Yeah.
to need a full-length film to
Well,
cover.
it's a story. They're films about these 2 kids that are living in the Israelite encampment as they're around the mountain where Moses got it, and it just tells a story about these 2 kids that illustrates 2 of the Ten Commandments each episode. But Tim Curry was in one of those, and yeah, Tim Curry makes everything better.
Yeah,
He's a great actor. I love that
yeah.
guy.
My sister was telling me that her nieces, were making her watch all the Tinkerbell movies,
Oh, golly.
and apparently they're really bad.
Yes, they are. My daughters love those things, and yeah, they're terrible. I feel bad for your sister.
Yeah. So I was trying to get for her birthday. I was trying to get her a cover for her iPad 2, but
Yeah,
nobody has covers for iPad 2s anymore. They got covers for iPad Airs and iPad Minis and pretty much everything except iPad 2. So we're good, at
yeah,
least at physical locations. So gonna have to.
yeah. You're gonna have to go on Amazon for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You think they'd be all the same damn size, so you could just pass your use your cut, buy a new iPad but use the same cover, especially since those
No,
covers are
no,
minimum $30.
no, nope. Apple changes up something about them so that all of your gear from
Yeah.
beforehand is completely incompatible. Whether it's just like camera and microphone placement
Hmm.
or button placement or whatever. The only consistency I think is the Apple logo in the back and then the home button on the front. Those are the only 2 consistencies between iPhone and iPad versions. Everything else is completely different.
Yeah. So, for those who missed it, that is my sister behind me. In case anyone's wondering, Andrew, there's someone behind you. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
anyway,
Andrew's not hiding chicks in his room. It's just his sister.
no, no, but like the rest of the women that sleep over here, they do have to sleep on the inflatable bed out here in the living room. That's that's what it's for. I mean, you can sleep on the couch if you want, but that's what the inflatable bed is for.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is kind of rude to have guests over on the floor with you. So
Yeah.
even though my carpet is pretty nice, so and I vacuumed, yes.
Nice.
we were actually at lunch with friends of mine, and I was my sister had mentioned that I vacuumed and uh, you know one of the friends was like, Do you like wash the floor?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, don't you?" He goes, "No, I'd rather just move." Really? You'd move to a new place before you wash the kitchen floor, huh? That's so.
Oh man, that's horrible.
So last week I was talking about Luigi's Mansion 2 for the 3DS, Dark Moon,
Hmm.
and pretty quickly I got to a point in the game where the difficulty just went. Zoom. Um,
Oh wow.
there is a point, and I'm guessing I'm pretty close to the end game, but there's a point where a bunch of ghosts, and I mean like a couple, like maybe 20 ghosts or something like that, get released into the mansion, and you have to go get them all. And they're in like 6 to 8 different rooms, like 4 to 6 ghosts per room.
Oh
So
wow.
you have to go into a room and battle 4 to 6 ghosts, which is actually really difficult because you're trying to suck up 2 or 3 ghosts with a vacuum cleaner, and then another ghost comes and punches you in the back of the head, which is fairly difficult to avoid because you're busy wrangling a bunch of other ghosts. And there is a
Yeah.
dodge button, but when you do that, you lose your suction on the ghost you're working on, which it's like, okay, so you could just, suck on the ghost, suck on, well, that sounds really bad. Vacuum the ghost, um, and then dodge, and then keep vacuuming the ghost, and it would take forever, but you get it done. Ah, but there's also a time limit.
Nice.
And these ghosts, some of these ghosts take off a fifth of your health in one hit. I tried it like 3 times, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to play this anymore. And what makes it even worse is it's not like Super Meat Boy where if you die you just boom instantly start again.
Yeah.
No. So you die and you say, okay, retry, and it loading, maybe 5 to 10 seconds of loading. And it's okay, here we are. Use the vacuum cleaner on the wheel thing to move the stairs, walk up the stairs, go through the door, skip the cutscene, which thankfully you can skip. Walk out the door. You get a conversation, so you have to wait for Luigi to go through his animation so you can answer the phone, then hit start to skip that codec conversation, so to speak. Out the door, down the stairs, hit the fan thing to spin the stairs, go back up the stairs to the other platform, through the door, down the hallway, through the door, and there's the first room. Now you can start again. Oh, but wait. If you want to get the special secret boo, there's a hidden boo ghost in each level.
Yeah.
You can't do it in the middle of this run, and if you wanted to get it later, you'd have to play through the entire level again, so you may as well get it now. So actually what you have to do is start over, go up the stairs, into the hallway, down the hall, through a door, get the boo, out, back, down the stairs, turn the thing, up the thing, into the room, skip the cutscene, skip the conversation, go back down the stairs, turn the stairs, up the stairs, into the room, down the hall, into the other room, and then you can start again. So you can kind of understand if you're an impatient person like me, where you're like, no, I don't want to. So I may not actually beat Luigi's Mansion because I just don't want to play it anymore.
That's crazy.
Which makes me sad when I don't beat games, but
Yeah.
sometimes games will have like the boss rush. That's kind of what this is it's the boss rush at the end of the game, but it's
Yeah.
structured in a way that just makes it annoying rather than fun in a challenging way. It's just really irritating. I mean, I spent 10 years going through the Trail of Souls and Baten Kaitos, so I
Yeah.
may actually eventually, try it every once in a while and get through it. But oh man, that really frost my cookies. So I moved on to resumed Yakuza 5, which I
Yeah.
had put on hold last towards the end of September when I started working on the 30 days of comics that I did.
Yeah.
and then the extra life thing. And so now I'm playing Yakuza again, which I'm really loving because the games are great and everyone should play them. Um, and it's really a very therapeutic game, I think, because it's a game. You've heard me talk about this in the past. It's a brawler, where and it's a very story heavy brawler, but it's a
Yeah.
brawler that every single problem can be solved by just punching it right in the face. Every problem everyone has in this game is solved by hitting it, and sometimes that's just what you need. So you just punch all your problems and it will be better. And that's the thing too, is not only do you punch the problems to make them go away, you punch problems to improve life for everyone.
Yeah.
Violence actually doesn't beget violence, or it makes things better. So you have some jerk harassing you on the street and you knock him in the nose and he's like, oh man, I don't know what I was thinking. I have seen the light. I will not harass people on the street anymore. Thank you. Let me give you some. Here's a health drink. Here's some money. Here's some pocket tissues for you because you set me straight, sir. And sometimes you'll run into characters like these later in the game or even later in the series. People
Yeah.
go, "Hey, Mr. Kiryu, how you doing, man? Remember me? I was, the leader of that human trafficking ring, and then you punched me in the head, and well, that set me straight. And now I have a humanitarian charity that I run, and it's all thanks to you punching me in the head, sir. Thank you." It's like, yes, I feel good about what I have done here. So that's some of the things that make Yakuza great. So if things in your life are just not going your way, or they're completely beyond your control, Yakuza is a great game because you just punch every problem in the face until it's better, and it's really cathartic.
Yeah.
So
I bet. Yeah. And here I am. I finally finished grinding in Legends Dragoon. I spent 20 hours over the course of the last month and a half grinding on this thing because I needed to. Because each character has their Dragoon spirit, and you can level that up 5 times, and then they have a various number of special attacks called additions that you can level up. And I had to level up all of their attacks and all of their Dragoon spirits, and all told, it took me about 20 hours. So before I started grinding, I had spent 30 hours just playing the game. And after grinding, I had spent 50 hours playing the game. And I'm finally on my way to the end boss. I don't know how much longer I have, but I should probably be done with it within the week. And then I can move on to another game, finally.
I actually did a part in Yakuza 5. Kelly, 13U Cube says you should jump in the chat room. If you have, you can either do that here or you can go to, well, if you go to randomtower.com, this podcast is playing right now on randomtower.com, and the chat is underneath it if you want to pull that up. Anyway, so I'm playing Yakuza, and I get into a fight, which I think the point, they're like, if you can beat us in this fisticuffs battle, we will, you will experience a breakthrough. And I'm level capped at level 20, so I'm thinking, are you going to break my level cap if I can beat you two? I like the sound of that. I really do. So I get in a fight of these two, and they completely trash me. I mean, they're attacking me on both sides. I am completely stun locked. And I have the best armor that you can get. So they take about 4 minutes to do it, but they beat the hell out of me. And I barely got a punch in edgewise. And I tried it again, and I still got my butt handed to me. And I was like, okay, I need to. And I put the controller down. I sat there and I thought about it. I said, I need a new approach. I'm just not going to be able to. You're gonna have
Punch
to
your
admit
way
it,
out
though.
of this.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. I'm like, I have a plan. So I walked over to Kamiyama Works and I bought a shotgun. And I'm going to try that after the podcast and see if that works.
Nice.
So that is my plan.
Yeah, fun stuff.
So Cube says going to be playing Dragon Quest 7 soon. Cool.
Nice, yeah. That's see, I have not played 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10.
Yeah, once
Uh,
it hit PlayStation, I
yeah,
played the first 4 on the Nintendo, and then I fell out of it until I played Dragon Quest 8 on the PlayStation and 9 on the DS.
Little
Um,
Giddle, huh?
yeah, that's Kelly on the bottom
Yeah.
there. Cube also says, "Oh, it's talking about the thunk sound when you vacuum a ghost into the tank. Yeah, it goes thunk when you get when you capture a ghost, and it is a sad. It's a very good sound design, and the music in the Luigi's Mansion game, the Luigi's Mansion theme. It's actually a theme that I will occasionally find myself humming.
Yeah.
Um, and Cube also says that I sounded like Tim Curry explaining the plot in Clue when I was going through the Luigi's Mansion thing. So I don't know if we'll do another episode of us trying gross food, but because she did spit peaches or something all over her sink one time. I forget what the hell that was. It wasn't peaches. It was some kind of canned fruit thing. But yeah, it was that canned. It was orange something in a canned syrup. But anyway, so yeah, so that's and my sister is caught like apparently San Diego is infested with Pikachu because my sister caught like 5 of them today.
Oh wow.
We weren't
Yeah.
even hunting. We just we went to the gym and then we went out to lunch and took a walk around the block and she caught 5 Pikachu. Is it
Has your
Pikachu
sister
or
caught a Ditto?
have you caught a Pikachai is the plural of Pikachu apparently. Kelly, have you caught Ditto? Ditto.
No,
No, it's the pink
it's
slime,
the
isn't it?
transforming blob.
That would be no. Oh, Duodo is the 2-headed
Yeah.
ostrich looking bird. Yeah,
Duo, yeah.
Duo.
But yeah, they just released Ditto this week, and Ditto just kind of randomly you capture like a low class Pokemon, like a Pidgey or Rattata or something like that, and then after your Pokeball shines that you caught it, it says, "Oh, you caught a Ditto," and the Rattata or whatever transforms into a Ditto, and that's what you actually caught. So it's not like you don't see Ditto on the map anywhere, and you don't see it while you're capturing it.
Yeah,
You only see it after it's caught.
yeah, I'm going to say a really bad word here in a sec just to let everyone know, but I think it'll be worth it because it is kind of funny. My sister actually, while we were walking around, she actually she actually did see a Rattata and said, "Fuck you, Rattata." I'm not even wasting a Pokeball on you.
Yeah. She probably passed up the only Ditto she's ever going to run into.
Maybe, but she's like, I don't like Rattata. Rattata can kiss my butt. Scotty says Yakuza 6 has cat cafes. Oh my god, that's amazing. I did not hear that, but I'm very excited for that now. Hopefully, Yakuza 6 comes to the West because we do have Yakuza 0 coming out in January, which doesn't do me much good unless I get a PS4, but which I'll have to get at some point because I really love the Yakuza games. But Yakuza 0 does have it's like doing 1-800 babe kind of phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not phone sex, so to speak, but it's like a phone dating service or something like that. And you call up girls and try not to be a stuttering mess, which is pretty funny the way it works. Because what happens is the girl will say something like, "So what are you wearing?" And the response options are in little bubbles that are just kind of floating around the screen, like kind of flipping over and getting in each other's way. And yeah, and you know, one of them says, you know, a pinstriped suit, and one of them says mayonnaise on my head or something like that, and you have to try and aim and hit the right answers and not say something really stupid. So that looks fun.
Interesting.
And apparently there's like underground mud wrestling or something like that in the game, which I love these games. They're so amazingly hyper masculine, but in a knowingly fun way.
Yeah.
I mean, these are games where guys are just, you know, they're wearing like button-up shirts and ties and suit jackets, and they just rip the whole thing off in one, like a stripper, just yanking the whole damn thing off, standing there bare-chested. Okay, now that we're bare-chested, now we will punch each other in the head. These games are great. Seriously, if you have PlayStation 3 or 4 and you have the opportunity to pick up one of the Yakuza games, I highly recommend it. They are a ton of fun. Anyway, so Kelly's Patronus is a cat in a unicorn costume. Okay. Kelly and Andrew, things they hate that everyone loves version 2016. Maybe we actually, it depends on how much I have to work an 8-hour shift tomorrow. We do have some videos planned, but we've just been messing around rather than working on videos. So we'll see if we get anything done. But my sister only lives like 3 or so hours away from me now, so it's easier to work together. Although this is just a bad time of year because we're both so busy. I mean, even in the next month, my sister's going to Maryland and for 2 weeks, and then I go to Kentucky the 2 weeks after that, and then New Year's, and so it's really difficult to get together and actually do stuff. But such as it is.
Yeah.
All right, so we actually have one topic tonight, which
I did find another one.
that's what you
group chat.
You Skyped me, or there
group
it is.
Chatted you. Yeah, I saw that. I was looking through some sites and I remembered. Oh yeah, that one was interesting.
Oh yeah,
I was right about that.
Yeah, I saw the headline of that earlier. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, so first up is a topic that Matthew tweeted me earlier today, which is an article on Games Industry Biz that is talking about some weak AAA game launches. So apparently Watch Dogs 2 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Dishonored 2, Titanfall 2, and games like that aren't selling as well as their predecessors had. So what the author is arguing, that this may be signs that the industry is shifting away from its current business model, and also makes an argument that it's not necessarily we're seeing less sales at retail, and all those sales are being done digitally now. Of course, Titanfall 2 sold less at retail because they're all buying it digital now. He argues that some of that is true, but most of it is people just with money being tight for a lot of people. But also his big argument is that there are a lot of games like Final Fantasy XIV and Destiny that are years old now, but people are still playing. Overwatch has been out for 6-8 months or something like that, and people are playing. Oh, hi Matthew. Yes, we are playing. They're playing it over and over and over and over and over, to the point where I'm not going to bother spending $60 on the new hotness this Christmas season. I'm still playing Destiny, or I'm still happily playing games from 2 or 3 years ago. And he worries that, or analyzes that could change the way AAA gaming is done, and that you may have AAA game developers trying to do just making these huge legacy games that just last for years, and they can keep releasing season passes and expansion packs and things while the rest of the industry kind of does what mobile does and just litters the market with a bunch of small cheap games, hoping to pick up any scraps that are left. So, what are your? Did you read this article, or did you have a chance?
Yeah. I finished reading it right before the podcast.
So, what's your thoughts on this article?
Well, I have a couple of thoughts, and this is thoughts about the specific titles that he mentions in the first article, first paragraph. Talks about Watch Dogs 2, Call of Duty, and Dishonored 2, and the fact that they didn't sell as well as their predecessors, and I think part of the problem is that these specific developers, I forget who developed Dishonored 2.
Ubisoft.
Was that Ubisoft too? Okay.
Mhm.
Um, which is interesting. Okay. Which actually plays right into what I was talking about. But these games are basically in a sea of very similar games, specifically Call of Duty and Dishonored 2, where Call of Duty, Activision is actively developing one Call of Duty
Oop,
game
Bethesda.
every
Sorry,
year.
Bethesda.
Bethesda did
Yeah,
Dishonored 2?
sorry.
Okay. Yeah, Ubisoft did Watch Dogs 2.
Right.
But Activision is actively throwing Call of Duty out every single year. And I think the problem with them is that people are getting burnt out on Call of Duty. And this game didn't offer anything new or interesting on top of the normal Call of Duty formula, even the fact that it was a sci-fi version out in space. And Dishonored 2 had uh, the unfortunate luck to be be a contender against Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed franchise, and since Ubisoft has watered the market with Assassin's Creed through yearly titles in Assassin's Creed, people just kind of get burnt out on that. And Watch Dogs 2, I think, probably was just not as good as the original, or didn't live up to the expectations of people who played the original, and so that's probably one of the reasons why it didn't succeed. But it
Well,
also
the games are
fits
actually
into,
selling well. They're just not
yeah.
selling as much as
Yeah, exactly. And
as
you've
others.
got the just diehard fans of these franchises that are going to buy them anyways. But the vast majority of, or there's a sizable number of people who just are tired of playing the same games over and over again, and they want something different. And then, but going on with the rest of this article, and and yeah, we do see a big shift in developers releasing games as a service rather than just games as a product. Here's your game, go play it. It's here's your game. Oh, here's some content. Here's some more content. Here's some more content. And I think that's something that, yeah, we're going to see a lot more of, because it's easier to charge people more than $60 for that kind of content than it is just saying, here's a game, let's charge you $80. No, people aren't going to accept that. But if they say, here's a $60 games, and then 3 months later, here's a $20 expansion, to 3 months later, here's another $20 expansion, people are going to buy that, because it's a little easier to swallow it in chunks than in one big 60 or $80 pill.
Although I'm the type of gamer who will say, "Oh, there's a season pass, there's DLC. I'll wait for the Game of the Year edition. I'll wait for the entire game. Thank you very much." To the point where it's like I don't even wouldn't even bother buying a game from Warner Brothers, because I know they're just gonna how just keep adding crap for the next year.
Yeah.
And then I can buy the Game of the Year edition, which will end up being like $20 cheaper than the original game was when it came out. Granted, it's going to be a year and a half till I can play it, but I am very patient. And I have a shelf of unplayed games, so.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have a ton of unplayed games as well, and I have no desire to go out and buy these things. It's like, and there's tons of games that I want to play that I haven't bought yet. And, specifically, Well, let's see. I haven't bought Final Fantasy 13, any of the Final Fantasy 13s. I still haven't bought and played Final Fantasy 12. So there's that.
Well, I bet get on it, buddy, because Final Fantasy 15 is coming, followed by Final Fantasy 7.
Well, isn't Final Fantasy 15? Isn't that another? No, Final Fantasy 14 is the MMO.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15 is Final Fantasy Need for Speed,
Yeah,
just based on all the
kind of.
advertising.
Final Fantasy, four dudes in a car.
Yeah. Yeah, that their advertising for Final Fantasy 15 just does absolutely nothing for me. It's like I'm not a racing game fan, and so advertising the game as driving around in a car is not going to get me to want to play it. It's like, let me advertise the game with giant monsters that you fight using cool spells and massive weapons. Yeah, I'll buy that, but I'm not going to buy a game about four dudes in a car.
Matthew says, I think games are going to start following the MMO old PC model, $60 game with $30 to $40 expansions every year or so.
Well, and yeah, and that's what this article is talking about, is that games as a service is what AAA publishers are shifting to, and I think, and, I don't think that's a bad idea. It's just,
well,
some people aren't going to.
if you're gonna follow PC, at least follow it to the point of less than $60, please. If you're gonna mimic the PC model, lower the damn price.
Yeah,
Because most of the AAA console games, $60. The same game for the most part you can buy on Steam for usually 50, sometimes cheaper. So
yeah. And then that's another problem too, is these console games will have digital versions, but they cost the exact same amount as the physical version, and it's just like, why bother? Just go to GameStop and pay $60 and get the actual disc that you can later resell if you don't want it, instead of paying $60 for just a download that's locked to you forever.
Unless they pull a Konami and decide to take it away from you and never offer it again, like it did with PT.
Yeah.
Not that anyone paid any money for PT, except the people who spent $1,000 buying a PS4 with PT on it off of eBay.
Yeah.
By the way, did you get an NES Classic Edition yet?
No, I have not actually gone out to look for one yet. I'm not a Black Friday shopper, so for those of you who read my article on Random Tower this week, I don't go shopping on Black Friday. I don't like it. There's no reason for me to do it. But I will probably look from time to time through the month of December, and hopefully pick one up before Christmas comes along, because I think that would make a fun gift for my kids.
Yeah.
So.
I finally understood what 13U Cube said and what my sister was asking. The cover for my sister's iPad was a birthday present for my sister. Her birthday is October 1st. That's not a Christmas present. So we actually went out on Black Friday to go get her one. And we went again today. And that's when we found out that you're not going to find a case for the iPad 2 in a physical store. Maybe the Apple store. I might try that, but we'll just get one online. Basically, my birthday present to her was, she just moved here to California, and I told her, you are at some point going to find something that you forgot or are missing or desperately need. So when you figure out what that thing is, let me know and I'll get it for you. And what she wanted was a cover for her iPad. So basically, I just waited till she got down here and we went to the store so she could pick one out that she liked with a pretty pattern on it. And she got a blue one with little pink birds on it. But the iPad 2 Air is not the same size as an iPad 2. So we had to take that back to Target. Although the screen size is the same, they're both 9.7 inches or something like that. They both have the same screen size, but the actual hardware is about a half an inch wider. The iPad 2 is in the Air. Apple. So anyway, so you had a article that you just sent me about the Game Awards.
Yes.
Which, I almost had it because I remember last year there was a lot of criticism when they announced all the judges for the awards, and it's like, wow, all men, huh? Hmm. I didn't actually look to see who all the judges are this year, or if that's even
um,
announced, but I don't
I
think I
don't know.
will.
I didn't look. Let me see if they got
I
the
bet they
judges
learned
in
their
there.
lesson and have a wonderfully diverse lineup of judges this year.
Well,
Like,
let's see
we've got three
here.
women this year out of 45.
Golly, I don't know. Do they even have a list of judges anywhere? Because I know they have their list of.
They don't publish it this year, so people stop giving them crap
I
about it.
guess, yeah. Um,
We figured out the solution to a lack of diversity in judges. Don't publish the list.
well, they have a list of. Pulling up the page, I accidentally exited off of it. Um, Golly, seriously, why is my internet so slow today? They have an advisory board, and which is made up of basically AAA developers,
Yeah.
and so they've got Activision represented by Eric Hirschberg, the CEO, AMD, Dr. Lisa Su. So there is one woman there so far. Electronic Arts, Peter Moore, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, Rockstar Games. They don't list a specific person. Sony Interactive Entertainment, Sean Layden, and I'm not sure if that's the. I think that's the female spelling of Sean, so that might be a girl there.
All right.
Telltale Games, Steve Allison, Ubisoft.
Well,
I
Allison is a girl's name, so.
yeah, well, that's a last name, so yeah. And then Ubisoft, the CEO, and I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, YVES, and then Guillemot or whatever. Then we got Valve and Warner Bros.
The Ubisoft guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Valve and Warner Brothers, David Haddad. And it says the advisory board is not involved in the selection of nominees or winners and learns of the winners at the same time as the public.
Okay. Matthew says it's under rules and voting.
Rules and voting. Okay. I've got that page open now. There's a whole bunch of sponsors and all of that. Where are the judges?
Now, to be fair, last year it wasn't like the Game Awards just picked all men. I think how it worked is they solicited a bunch of different organizations to give them someone to judge, and each individual organization, blind of all the others, just said, Frank, go do the thing. And there ended up being one woman in the whole bunch. So.
Yeah, so it says nominees and winners for most categories of the Game Awards are selected by 29 global media and influencer outlets. These publications submit ballots in nomination and winner round based on the collective and diverse feedback of their staff. And then fan voting determines winners in select categories. So they have sidestepped the problem of gender representation by not listing specific people and only specific outlets. So we've got OS Gamers, Edge, EGM, Entertainment Weekly, Eurogamer, so on and so forth. But yeah, they don't list specific people. So they sidestep that problem.
Okay. Or that they haven't been sent who the judges will be yet.
Well, the header above this says that the publication submit ballots and nominations based on the collective and diverse feedback of their staff. So they're assuming that the entire media staff of each of these outlets gets together and picks something. Whether that actually happens or not is another story. Yeah. Okay, but this year's has its own little controversy surrounding these events. They have a category for the the best fan-made game or fan game. Let's see, what is the actual title of this category? I'm trying to look that up. Pokemon were both pulled from the best fan creation category. So they have a best fan creation category, and the original list for this had four titles: Brutal Doom 64, Enderall, The Shadows of Order, which
Mhm.
is a mod on Skyrim or something like that. And then they had Project AM2R, which is the fan remake of Metroid Prime or Metroid 2. And then they had Pokemon Uranium, which is the fan Pokemon game that takes place in a Chernobyl style area.
Mhm.
And both of those games were yanked from the category, leaving only the Brutal Doom and Enderall. And that has been a bit of a controversial move
Yeah,
by
thanks, Obama.
yeah, thanks Obama. and now the game awards has I don't they haven't released an actual statement on this, and neither has Nintendo. But there's fan speculation that Nintendo pressured the Game Awards to remove those two titles because Nintendo doesn't like or has already sent cease and desist and stuff over those games. And but according to the Game Awards about the advisory board, it says the advisory board is not involved in the selection of nominees or winners. So if that's the case, then why drop those two titles at all?
Mm.
If this is a fair and impartial process, then they should still be there.
Yeah. I actually did see a statement from Jeff Keighley earlier today that I just pulled up. So let me read that.
Okay.
Jeff Keighley made a statement to a Nintendo Everything, unless they pulled it from somewhere else, but it looks like that's who he gave it to. He said, I think the big challenge that we face as a show is that everything in the show has to be legally cleared by the game companies in question. So one of the things that we go through is this clearance process where we have to get basically rights from everyone that owns the IPs of the games, but we don't tell those companies in advance who's nominated, and we find out together. It became clear once we announced the nominees that we weren't going to be able to get clearance on those games from Nintendo. Understandably so, it's Nintendo's IP. You're trying to protect their IP, and those creators had sort of taken those games down. So from a show perspective, those games had been, I think, issued takedowns, and if we include those in the show, then the show is potentially at risk for takedown as well. I think the fan creations are amazing things that fans do, and I hope that game companies and fans find ways to continue to create that content, and I would like nothing more than those creators and Nintendo to figure out a way to collaborate on content. But from a show perspective, it's a bummer because I think those things are amazing efforts from fans. They created it, but at the end of the day, they're a legal use of the IP, and different game companies have different approaches to that. I think fan creations, for me, we have to make sure those creations are legal, creations or at least creations that are not subject to takedown to be in the show. It was a bummer to see that happen, but it's something that, unfortunately, from a show perspective, we had to remove them because we couldn't obtain the clearance. I don't get why you need clearance from the IP holder to say that was a cool thing. I mean, just the nature of the category, best
Well,
fan
and
game, kind of. I mean, unless it's going to be unless the category is best official fan game or best fan game that didn't get a
getting
DMCA
DMCA,
takedown.
yeah. And you got to wonder if these other two titles are official. I guess the Indorall, which is uses um, the level creation and APIs of the
Mhm.
game it's based on. And honestly, I thought this was on this article that I was reading, but I'm not seeing it. Is the Brutal Doom 64, is that an official release? Because
No, I think that's just a
id
demo.
Software just says congrats to Brutal Doom 64 for being nominated for best fan creation this year. Is that the type of approval that the Game Awards is looking for?
I
Is
don't
just
know, man. I mean,
the
it's weird. It's like you could award the game. I mean, if you were going to show footage and you're worried about it, just say, and now some footage from ASMR or whatever it's called, and then it just shows us for 2 solid minutes, shows a screen with DMCA takedown by Nintendo in big red
yeah.
letters. Just do that for 2 solid minutes. Neener, neener. Matthew says a safe bet Nintendo threatened to pull a reveal if they didn't remove those two games from the nomination. Yeah, remember that excellent reveal from a couple of years ago where they're like, Cranky Kong is in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Well, granted, they did
Yeah.
have a Zelda reveal last year,
Yeah.
year before last, but um, possibly. But that's weird to me that
Yeah.
you would need IP clearance to just award a game.
Yeah,
What?
and that is
They're not
and I
doing a
guess
let's play. They're giving an award.
yeah, and that's it too. Is that they're giving an award, and these developers, I guess, they're they probably have other games that that these awards, even though they're not currently developing and releasing these specific games because they've been DMCA'd, having an award that says, "Hey, one of the games we've made in the past, even though it's not available anymore, has won this award." That would make it their business a lot better going forward. Like they could sell games based on that recognition, and taking this recognition away from them, it's just it's a bum move, and especially when it was after the fact, at a point where these titles have been revealed as nominated, so everybody knows that they're nominated.
The only thing
But
that's been accomplished here is Nintendo looks like an ass.
yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
and that's what looks like happened, is that because Nintendo didn't know about them until the
Yeah.
announcement,
Nice
then
job, Nintendo.
Nintendo said those games shouldn't be on this because we didn't like those games to begin with, and
Yeah.
the Game Awards were like, crap, I guess we got to take them off.
So, how smart of a business move do you think is irritating a bunch of potential consumers right before you launch a new console?
That's not a very good move at all.
Not the savviest move, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, no.
13 Cube asks if we've seen the Majora's Mask fan video. I have.
I don't know. I haven't even heard of one. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of fan videos out there. It's just
It's a like a 4 minute short film that looks at how the Skull Kid got the Majora's Mask,
okay.
which is basically he walked up to the happy mask salesman and took it. But
Interesting.
so it's not really an interesting story, but the animation and design of the Happy Mask Salesman and the Skull Kid is really, really cool looking. The only thing that I really didn't agree with is that what are the two fairies in that game? Tattle and Tail or something?
I have
like
no
that?
idea.
But there were two fairies in that game, a purple one and a white one. And how they're always represented in the Zelda games is a glowing ball of white light with wings. And
Mhm.
but this is a very high definition, ultra detailed depiction of all the game characters. So it's like ultra realistic looking, and the fairies are rendered as literally a ball of energy with wings on it. I always imagined that the fairies were like little miniature people with wings, but they were just kind of depicted as a glowing, but because they're so small, all you really see is this little glowing ball of light.
Yeah.
But the video actually depicts it as like a literal tennis ball with the wings on it, which was an interesting choice. I mean, they
Yeah.
took that literally. I mean, usually when you catch a fairy in a bottle, it's da 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 da, and it zooms in, and you can see
Yeah.
a fairy beating her hands on the bottle. Let me out! At least pop in some air holes or something.
I always wondered how the fairies didn't escape in the Legend of Zelda games, because in especially in Link to the Past, they didn't have corks or lids on them, so they were just in bottles with a big wide
That's
open
true.
mouth.
Maybe they never look up. They're like, I can't figure out how to. They just kind of wander around the circumference of the bottle over and over and never think to go up.
Yeah, maybe.
and that's why Link has to turn it upside down and get
Dump
out of
them out.
there. Yeah.
When he drinks, he pops the cork. Okay.
I think there is an animation of him pulling a stopper, but I don't think this. I don't know. You may be right that the stopper itself is not actually rendered in a lot of cases,
Yeah.
but whatever. Yeah, ferries are. Yeah, the ferry. You carry a ferry because if you lose all of your health and collapse, then the ferry will automatically revive you, which is
Yeah.
handy.
But only if the fairy is in your item, at your active item
Does
spot.
the ferry have to be in the active item slot? Okay. I,
Well, maybe.
no.
I don't remember. It's been a
Might
long time
depend
since
on
I
the
played
game.
it. Yeah.
Wind Waker has a cork. Okay.
Okay. But yeah. But yeah, I think in Link to the
Ocarina
Past.
and Majora's Mask may not.
Yeah.
No, it
Okay, I
doesn't.
guess not.
Okay, we're having a fight. Do
I guess not. I've
I
been
have
proven
to get the game
wrong.
off the shelf?
It's been a long time since I've played a Zelda game, and I
Oh
need to
yeah.
play more. So I need to play them.
Well,
I've got
Breath of the
Ocarina of
Wild is
Time,
rumored to
and
be delayed.
yeah, I've got Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker that I need to finish, Ocarina of Time that I need to start, and Twilight Princess that I need to start. I've got Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess on the GameCube. Well, and
Mhm.
Wind Waker on the GameCube too, I guess. So I gotta play all three of those. And Wind Waker, I don't. I'm about halfway through that one. It's just been a long time since I played it. I kind of stopped playing it after my kids pulled my Wii off the TV stand and screwed up 3 hours of progress.
Mm.
And I said, "Yeah, I'm done playing for now." And
Friend
I
of mine,
haven't picked it up since. So
friend of mine stopped playing Wind Waker at the infamous Triforce Fetch quest at the
yeah.
end of the game. He was just like, "Nope, no, I refuse. I refuse to
Uh,
find maps to go get maps that point to the 7 pieces of the Triforce. No, just no."
yeah. Um, yeah, I wish I had Wavebirds, the GameCube wireless controllers, because those
Mhm.
things are awesome, but I don't have any, and so I have to use the wired GameCube controller, and that's a pain in the butt. Um, but my mom had this wireless controller. The button layout was different, and then it was the button layout was like the classic controller Pro, but but it didn't play the same way as with the GameCube, because with GameCube you have the big A button in the middle, and
Mhm.
then you have the X and Y around it, and the B off down to the left. Well, because of the way that controller was laid out, you've got the A button here, and then the X button over here, with the Y button here, or whatever it is, and it's like you're trying to hold the A button and press the the corresponding one, but that's on the other side of the controller. It just doesn't work, and I had a hard time playing with that one. But
Yeah, there's no way you're hitting B and X at the same time, but
no, yeah. See, that was one of those things. A B and X or an A and Y were just impossible to hit together, and even though they're super easy to hit with the GameCube controller, but man, I love the GameCube controller. It's a great controller.
oh yeah.
I wish the button layout was like that for more controllers. But
Yeah, really to me it would be the perfect controller if it weren't for the mini D-pad that they used for
yeah, that
good
little
reason.
tiny D-pad on
And
there.
also the Z trigger needed to be moved like a half an inch to the left. And there probably should have been one to mirror it on the left side of the controller too.
Yeah,
Um, because it was kind of like on the PlayStation controller you have L1, L2, and R1, R2. So basically you have an R1 and an R2 and an L2. There's like no L1 on that controller. It's weird.
yeah.
Apparently, from what I understand, the Z trigger was like or essentially the R1 button was a last minute, like, oh, okay, fine. Okay, fine. You want ports to work on the GameCube? Fine, we'll give you one button. It's like,
Yeah.
guys, really? So it ended up a lot of times being this weird toggle button that was
Hmm.
yeah, Jordan, welcome. We're ending the podcast now.
Yep, you missed all the good stuff.
Oh yeah, all the air quotes good stuff. So I said a bad word earlier.
Yeah.
So
But
that's my
speaking of
bad.
bad words, I mentioned Angry Birds at the beginning, and
Mhm.
it was the most entertaining part of it for me was the two clever uses of stand-ins for the F word. Um,
Ooh.
one of them was pluck, and I forget the exact context of that one. And then the other one was flock, and
Hmm.
they were like these flocking birds or flocking pigs or something like that, and
I'm
I was
always
just like, yeah,
I'm always amused by usually cartoon shows that will come up with their own swear words so that they can swear. Like in Beast Wars, they came up with the word slag,
yeah,
which was just the basically your dirty word. And I think there's even been some like sci-fi shows. Like I think one of the Star Trek ones or Babylon 5 or
yeah,
maybe it was earlier, like Battlestar Galactica or something, that they had their own fake curse word that they could use. That the network's
yeah,
like, I know what you mean, but that's not a bad word.
yeah. And then Firefly just used Chinese swear words
Oh,
because
did
they
it?
could get away with it. Yeah, because in Firefly,
Crack. You're right.
yeah,
1382. That's what it was.
that's Battlestar. Yeah, but in
That's Battlestar
Firefly,
Galactica. Thank you. Yes.
yeah, Firefly, the etymology of the language was just it was a combined English and Chinese because those were the largest populations of
Mhm.
unified languages, and they just kind of combined over the course of the centuries,
Yeah,
and so
those
all the
languages
swearing was
don't.
done in Chinese and all the communicating was done in English. So it was great.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
All right. You can have the swear words. We get all the rest of them. You get the dirty words. We get.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's enough. We came into this show with no plan, basically because Zachary and I both, shame on us, we've been enjoying our Thanksgiving vacations and didn't really think much about the show. It's like, we have to do a podcast tonight, don't we? My
Yeah.
sister and I were out. I'm like, we should probably go home because it's getting late. So, yeah, yes, where's the world gone, Jordan? Where has
Yeah.
it? But don't worry, this show will be archived and you can watch it later at your leisure.
Yeah.
So let's plug our stuff and get out of here. Andrew Eisen here. Eisen is the last name, how it's spelled. Plug it into YouTube. You'll find my YouTube videos. Currently, I'm just posting the Extra Life Charity Marathon in hour-long chunks for anyone who missed pieces of it or wanted to browse through it and see what I did. We raised $825 for Rady Children's Hospital this year, which was awesome. And my sister was here with me for the show, so that made it a lot of fun. So I do have some other videos planned. It's just we're in the really busy season right now, so I haven't had a chance. I have a Q and Andrew that I need to do as one of the donation incentive awards. Um, I wanted to do a video talking about what was it, Pokemon Picross, the free
Hmm.
to play game that I took about 8 months to beat because I wouldn't deign to pay actual my hair is like sticking up. The hair is sticking. Look at my hair. My God. Lay down, hair. Jeez. Oh, my hair is actually this long now. So I'm trying to grow my hair out, and I keep thinking maybe I'll do something interesting with it, but my hair just kind of it's. I think maybe if I just let it get longer, it'll have enough weight to actually lay down. But no, it just does like Medusa tendrils all over the place. So,
Yeah.
um, what was I talking about? Oh, follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen, and the Facebook page is called Andrew Eisen YouTube. So, Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night. I post some interesting stuff there every once in a while. You can follow my game development work at DK underscore gaming and divineknightgaming.com. And I'm currently developing a game that I'm calling Abstract RPG for the moment. Hopefully, in the next week, I'll have a better title. I've been
Actually, I
saying
kind of
that
like
for
that name.
forever, but well, it's just it no longer describes the game, and
Oh,
so
that's a shame.
I want to come up with something different. And I've been posting one image a day for the entire month of November, except I missed the day after the election. And then
Mhm.
I missed yesterday and the day before because of Thanksgiving stuff. And I'm trying to get an image together today to post because I need to get one out. Um, but yeah, hopefully the game is almost completely playable at this point. I still have a few more features to add to it and a few more tweaks to make, but it is mostly playable and good now. So
Well, make sure
um,
you let your kids QA test it because they're good at finding bugs.
yes, they are. They are, and that's one of the things is that I've got to get this going and tested, and playable. And I'm going to be adding content to it over the course of the next couple of weeks, probably the month of December, because I would like to get this released at some point and start making some money. I don't know if you can see this on my phone, but I actually got it running on my phone,
Oh, nice.
and 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 so it's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see anything
A
on there,
little
but
bit, yeah.
a little bit. But you can see all of that on my Twitter chat. Yeah, DK underscore gaming on Twitter,
It's going to be a
and also on the
premium game that
Facebook
competes with
page.
Super Mario Run.
Oh yes, yes. This is going
You charge $10 for it. It's going to sit right up there
exactly.
next to Super Mario Run.
Right now, you can see this little green bar at the bottom. That's where I'm planning on putting ads because I think this is just going to be free with ads.
Hmm.
But that green bar is not going to be there. But that's just my placeholder so that I know that ads are going to go there.
Oh,
Uh,
speaking of ads, I got a spam email that says a cute Asian wants to meet you. And it so of course I opened this email to look at the
of
pictures of the
course
cute
you did.
Asian, and it had four pictures of a cute Asian. And I looked and I went, that's four different girls. They're four totally different. And I looked at the header again, thinking maybe I read it wrong. I'm like, it's not cute Asians want to meet you. It's like a singular cute Asian singular wants to meet you. And they show four different pictures of four completely different women. I'm like, do you think they all look the same to me? Come on, I can tell the difference between four different people. But I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Spam can be funny sometimes. You have to be
Yes,
careful
it
with it,
can.
but it can sometimes be really funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is
But
our show for. Oh, I'm sorry.
there you go.
Go,
Oh no,
keep going.
the I was just going to say that you can also check out the Oklahoma game development scene at OK Game Devs on Twitter and okgamedev.com.
All right,
But there
awesome.
you go.
Okay, so that's it for us. Thank you everyone for watching. Jordan, sorry you missed the bulk of the show. All
Yes.
right, we're
So
out
your
of
own
here.
fault.
Yeah, so we're out of here, but we'll see you again next week for another episode of Molehill Mountain. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Goodbye.